Hold on a second. You mean to tell me the government is now offering 40-year mortgages? In recent news, the government stated that they are a step closer to offering 40-year mortgage loan modification for people that are in forbearance. That's right, 40-year mortgages. For those of you who thought 30-year mortgages was a long time to stay in debt, the government is planning to outdo you. We're now offering loan options that's adding 10 more years. That's right, 40-year mortgage loan modifications. So in other words, that means if you had a government loan, such as an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA loan, if you're in forbearance, then the government is going to allow you to modify your loan from a 30-year mortgage to a 40-year mortgage. Why would the government even want to do that in the first place? Well, let's break everything down so we can see why the government would want to offer 40-year mortgages and what this means for the future. Let's start from the beginning with forbearance. If you're like me, you probably never even heard the term forbearance being used as far as mortgages go until about 2020 when the pandemic hit. So a forbearance is when your lender allows you to delay your mortgage payments because of some sort of financial hardship which was due to COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, and there were a lot of industries that were hit pretty hard because of COVID and the shutdowns that happened. Since a lot of people lost their jobs, the government was afraid that a lot of homes would go into foreclosure because since people no longer had jobs, they wouldn't be able to pay their mortgages. So to help combat that, they decided to offer loan forbearances, which allowed them to delay their mortgage payments for a period of time. As of today, there are still around 1 million homes that are in forbearance. The forbearance period was initially supposed to last for 6 months once you applied for it, but there was also an extension that you can file that allowed you to extend it for another 6 months, so for a year total. For a lot of people, however, that year is starting to come up and their time is starting to run out. The last thing the government wants to see is all of these homes come out of forbearance and then go into foreclosure because people still are having a hard time paying their mortgages. In order to stop some of that, they are now trying to add on a 40-year loan modification. With the 40-year loan modification, what it essentially does is stretch out their mortgage payments over an extra 10 years, which will then make their mortgage payments smaller and easier to afford. The government is hoping that with these smaller mortgage payments, more people will be able to afford their homes and they won't have to foreclose. So what exactly does all of this mean for real estate? Well, in my opinion, two things come to mind. My first thought is that the government is doing pretty much everything they can in order to stop foreclosures from hitting the market at a high level like it did back in 2008, 2009. The last thing the government wants is to see the market crash, and we've been seeing them do everything they can, from lowering interest rates at the beginning of the year to keep the real estate market and everything else going, and to now planning to add on 40-year mortgage loan modifications. This seems like a pretty big step for them to make, in my opinion, so they're taking this very seriously. So if you are one of those people who are waiting for a bunch of foreclosures to hit the market to see if you can snatch a home up at a discount, that might not happen for a little while. At least not if the government is able to do what they're planning on doing. Now, my second thought is this. If the government, such as FHA, VA, and USDA loans, are offering loan modifications for 40 years, how long is it going to be before they just start offering 40-year mortgages to everyday home buyers? If the 40-year loan modification is improved, I don't see what's stopping them from just outright offering 40-year mortgages. I mean, they don't seem that far apart, right? That then leads to another interesting question. Would buyers be willing to do 40-year mortgages? Let's think about some of the pros and cons of a 40-year mortgage. On one hand, a 40-year mortgage would have mortgage payments that are a lot smaller than a 30-year mortgage because the payments are stretched out over 10 extra years. That means that a home would be more affordable to more people. On the other hand, can you imagine how much interest you're paying over the life of your loan for a 40-year mortgage? It was already ridiculous with a 30-year mortgage, so just tack on 10 more years of interest and banks are cleaning up. Let's not forget that as of right now, we are actually in a heavy seller's market. Buyers are already fighting over what little inventory of homes there is now. So is a 40-year mortgage really the best thing for a real estate market that already has too many buyers? If 40-year mortgages start coming on the market, that's going to mean more buyers, which means more buyer competition, which means higher sale prices because, once again, there'll be more people fighting over them, which is going to raise the price of homes. But also, while we're thinking about that, let's not forget that the government has recently raised interest rates and are planning on raising them even further in 2022. So that will most likely drive buyer competition and sales price of homes down. So maybe this is their kind of plan to balance it out and keep the market going. I don't know. We'll have to wait till the future to really see what happens. But this is definitely something to think about. So let me know, what do you guys think of a 40-year mortgage? Is that something you'd be willing to do? Any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me either through the comment section below or through my website, which is BaileyAcresProperties.com. Once again, my name is Rob Bailey, realtor in the Chicagoland area with ARNI Realty Inc. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.